She went from being a humble Midwestern girl who survived a near-fatal car accident to become one of Hollywood's most brightest stars. But she was financially betrayed by her husband, leaving her with huge debt even upon her death. This is the untold story of Hollywood's oldest virgin, Doris Day. Doris was born on April 3, 1922, in Cincinnati, Ohio. Her father served as a choir master and a music director, while her mother was a housewife. Young Doris developed a strong passion for dancing, and she formed her dance group with Jerry Doherty. They participated in competitions all over the country, and she had hopes that one day she would become a professional dancer. But life had other plans for her. On October 13, 1937, Doris and her friends were involved in a terrifying car crash in which she survived a broken right leg, and this crushed her childhood dreams of ever becoming a professional dancer. However, was this the end of her journey in the world of performing arts? As she couldn't dance anymore, Day replaced her old hobby. She fell in love with singing and music making. During her long hospital days, she would listen and sing along with a lot of artists, but she was particularly inspired by Ella Fitzgerald. Her parents supported her by enrolling her in music classes. She was mentored by a professional music teacher, Grace Rain, and after working with Grace, Doris said that she had the biggest impact on her music life and career. In 1945, Doris released her first recording, Sentimental Journey, and in no time it became an anthem for Army troops in the World War, expressing their desire to return home. With no acting experience, Doris was cast for her first film role in Romance on the High Seas. She rejected the whole idea at first as she felt underqualified, but director Curtis wanted an honest all-American girl, and that was how Day's acting journey began. She had a commercial big break in 1951 musical film I'll See You in My Dream, which broke a box office record of over 29 years. Her song, Secret Love from the film, won the Academy Award for the Best Original Song. She was also featured in a lot of other successful projects like Pillow Talk and Please Don't Eat the Daisies. During the heat of the sexual revolution in movies in the late 1960s, a lot of actresses and actors transitioned to more sexual characters to keep up with the industry changes, but Doris Day's movies stayed the same. However, did her choices have any consequences on her career and public image? While she lost a lot of fans and dropped from the list of top box office stars, Day wasn't bothered. In an interview, the actress said that she never saw the whole thing with Hollywood as a competition. According to her, she is aware that the fact that when you are considered number one, then there is no other place for you to go but down. But still, the actress is displeased that fans see her as Hollywood's goody two-shoes. This is why she insisted on an autobiography, so she could share the true, honest story of who she really is. Her public image was not correct, and as she put it, had nothing to do with the life she lived. But how would Doris navigate her personal life amidst her growing fame? And who was Doris Day behind the scenes? Doris didn't like being alone, Kaufman revealed, and her desperation for companionship brought her so much trouble in her life. Her parents had a turbulent marriage, so Grace never had the model for a happy home. Her father, Williams, was a bold cheat. According to her, he would walk past her room to his room with her mom's best friend, and they would make love while she was tormented by the pleasure sounds. Aside from his devil-may-care attitude, Williams was also physically abusive, and at some point, her mother was fed up and opted for a divorce. They separated, and years after, Doris couldn't believe that she was in the same position her mom had been with her father. As a matter of fact, hers might have been worse. Her first husband was a trombonist, Al Jordan. And here is what Doris said after their divorce. What had represented to me as love emerged as jealousy. A pathologic jealousy that was destined to make a nightmare out of the next few years of my life. Jordan was very abusive. She said that he hit her on the second day of their marriage because she collected a gift from his bandmate. And this continued all through their union. She even revealed in her autobiography that he beat her into a pulp when she was pregnant in an attempt to force a miscarriage. They separated in 1943 and Jordan committed suicide 24 years later. While she enjoyed some level of freedom in her second marriage, it was still far from the life she had pictured for herself. Doris married 20-year-old Welder, and as it would seem, Welder was a little immature for marriage and fatherhood. They separated after 8 months, and Doris went on to explore her other options in the industry. But months later, Welder came back on his knees, pleading for a second chance. They reconciled, but this didn't last as well. They had several other breakups before their final divorce in 1949. But was Doris destined for more heartbreak in her love life? For her next marriage, she was taunted by the media as a husband snatcher, and her husband died, leaving her in so much debt that she almost went bankrupt. Doris didn't enjoy coming between any man and his wife. It was not something she enjoyed, Kaufman shared, but the media and angry partners of some Hollywood's leading men might disagree. Day just couldn't help herself with the men she acted alongside with. However, she got it all wrong after she started a secret affair with Steve Cochran, who played her husband in 1951 Storm Warning. Steve was nicknamed Miss King Size because of his numerous affairs with actresses in the industry. Doris might not have known this, but the consequences were severe anyway. Doris got into a fight with famous star Joan Crawford, Steve's then-girlfriend. She accused her of stealing her man, and this was not going to be the last time the actress would be insulted because of an affair. But would Doris Day finally find true love and happiness? Day's third husband was American music producer Marty Melker. But at the time she met him, Marty was married to Patty Andrews, and somehow Day proved to Melker that she would make a better wife, and Marty filed a divorce against Andrews. But Patty was not going to leave without a fight. She showed up at Doris's house with a baseball bat. Maybe marriage with Melker was worth fighting for, as it was her longest union. Melker died of a heart attack after 17 years of marriage with Doris. But it was still not until after his death that she realized that she lived a life for 17 years. Melker had lavished over $20 million of her fortune, and the once wealthy actress was thrown into huge debt. All I ever wanted is a baby, a husband who really loved me, a home, and all the happiness that could bring. Doris revealed in a 1991 interview, "I never got that, and that's all I really wanted." During Day's early acting years, she met Ronald Reagan, who had a 7-year contract with Warner Bros. Reagan played his cards so well, and soon Day was lying helplessly in his web. According to Doris, she loved Ronald because he danced well and how freely he expressed himself. Reagan had plans to marry Day. He even shared his friends that she was the ideal wife. But it turns out that Ronald was not a one-woman guy. He had eyes on the newest goldfish in town, actress Nancy Davis, and he got married to her in 1952. Doris at the time too had an endless list of pursuers, so she would quickly move on. Ronald was not the only politician that was charmed by Doris. George W. Bush confessed that he had a crush on the actress during his pilot days in World War II. Doris's empathy for animals is dated back to her teen days. She took her pet dog, Tiny, for a walk. The dog escaped its leash and was run over by a car. It died on the spot, and Day was emotionally traumatized for life. She devoted the rest of her life to the protection of animal rights. They founded the Doris Day Pet Foundation in 1987, an organization with the primary vision of helping and protecting animals and the people who love them. She also featured in a lot of paper advertisements discouraging the wearing of animal furs. To Doris, her service in animal rights protection was far more satisfying than all she ever did. However, as the actress advanced in age, she secretly knew that the end was getting closer. A cancer survivor, Doris escaped the pangs of the deadly disease during her marriage with Melker. She was lucky, as an early diagnosis proved that it was benign. Doris died on May 13, 2019, at her home in California following a long battle with pneumonia. She died at the age of 97. She requested, as announced by her foundation, that there should be no funeral services, grave markers, and public memorials. Doris Day's enduring legacy continues to touch the hearts of millions, as her unwavering passion for music, acting, and animal rights advocacy left an indelible mark on the world. If you like this video, you may also like the other videos of our channel about beautiful actresses of yesteryear.